A leashed dog rounds a bend in a forest trail and stops so hard that the leash goes tight. Across the path, half hidden between spruce trunks, is a wolf. The dog has spent its morning sniffing mushrooms, pulling towards squirrels, and checking whether its person might share a sandwich. The wolf has been moving quietly through a place marked by scent, old tracks, boundaries, prey, and the movements of other wolves. To a human watching from behind the leash, the scene can feel almost unbearably loaded. Two close relatives face one another. One lives beside people, one does not. It is natural to wonder whether the wolf sees the dog as a compromised cousin and feels sorry for it. That story gives the wolf a very human assignment. There is no evidence that wolves look at domestic dogs and feel pity for the lives they live. Pity would involve more than detecting that another animal is frightened, small, restrained, or unfamiliar. It would require the wolf to treat the dog's circumstances as misfortune and respond with concern for that misfortune. No study has shown that kind of judgment in wolves meeting dogs. What wolves do have is a social system sharp enough to make the question interesting. They live in groups where the behavior of familiar animals carries real consequences. A limping packmate, a sudden alarm, a partner that hangs back during travel, or a young wolf crowding near food can change what everybody else does next. Wolves pay attention because their daily lives demand it. But attention is not pity, and shared ancestry is not a membership card. The first thing a wolf may register is not a family tree. It may register an unfamiliar canid in a meaningful place. A wolf's world is dense with information: urine marks, scat, paw prints, wind direction, a deer trail, a road crossing, the silence after birds flush from cover. These are all clues with practical value. Add a dog to that landscape and the wolf has a problem to assess. Is this animal alone? Is a person nearby? Is it moving toward a den site, a kill, a rendezvous area, or a route the pack uses? Does it smell like other dogs? Is it barking? Is it retreating? Is it large enough to be a threat, vulnerable enough to be prey, or simply too unpredictable to approach? A collar is meaningful to us because it points to ownership, care, rules, and a house somewhere beyond the trees. For a wolf, it is more likely to be one detail among many odd signals. The dog carries human scent. It may move with the noisy confidence of an animal accustomed to trails. It may bark in a way that announces its location. It may repeatedly look back toward a person. None of that tells a wolf that the dog has traded wilderness for comfort. It tells the wolf that this animal belongs to an unusual ecological situation. That distinction can sound cold, but it actually gives wolves more credit. They do not need a sentimental interpretation to behave flexibly. A wolf can avoid a dog because the encounter looks risky. It can investigate because the scent is novel. It can become defensive because the dog is near something valuable. It can leave because continuing is not worth the cost. A pause from a wolf is information, not a statement about a dog's happiness. The idea of wolf pity often grows from something real. Wolves are not emotionally blank machines. They form durable social relationships. In captive wolf groups, individuals with stronger social bonds can be more responsive to one another in certain situations. Research on contagious yawning, for example, found that wolves were more likely to yawn after watching a closely bonded groupmate yawn. That result is often treated as a clue that basic emotional contagion may have deep roots in social mammals. It is a clue, not a bridge to the title's claim. Contagious yawning happens among wolves that know one another within an established social network. A domestic dog encountered at the edge of a trail is not automatically part of that network. The wolf may recognize it as a canid. Recognition of category is very different from concern for an individual's life story. Wild wolf packs are also not organized like a permanent office hierarchy in which unrelated animals are constantly competing for a top job. Many packs are families, parents, their offspring, and sometimes older young from previous years. That arrangement creates intense cooperation, but it also creates clear boundaries between insiders and outsiders, Familiarity matters. Repeated interaction matters. Kinship often matters. An unfamiliar wolf can provoke a serious response near a territory, even though it belongs to the same species. A dog may be genetically close enough to crossbreed with a wolf, yet still arrive as an outsider, carrying unfamiliar smells, behavior, and human association. Physical resemblance does not settle the issue either. A large northern breed dog may look wolf-like to a person, while scent and behavior tell a much richer story to another canid. A tiny dog can be loud, fast, and strange enough to command attention. A large dog can carry the posture of an animal that expects people to solve conflicts for it. The relevant details are local and immediate. Wolves do not respond to a drawing of a dog. They respond to a living animal in front of them. Dogs are equally variable. A livestock guardian dog raised around open land, a hunting dog ranging far ahead, and a small pet on a short leash do not present the same situation. Their size, movement, confidence, and distance from a human can change the risk. This is one reason broad claims about what wolves think of dogs fall apart. The encounter is never just wolf versus dog. It is this wolf, this dog in this place, at this distance, with these resources and signals around them. This is one reason the lost cousin image can mislead us. Biological relatedness does not automatically produce social tolerance. People do not greet every distant relative like a sibling, and wolves have even fewer reasons to do so with a strange animal near an important place. Their behavior is shaped by the immediate setting, resources, distance, group size, season, previous experience, and the actions of the dog and nearby humans. Domestic dogs bring their own very different history into the encounter. They did not become wolves with their instincts removed. They became animals selected and raised through countless generations in human-dominated environments. Many dogs are especially good at noticing human gestures, routines, attention, and emotional tone. A dog can learn that one person reaches for the leash before a walk, that another opens the pantry at a certain time, or that a change in voice means the game is over. Those abilities are not signs of weakness. They are part of an adaptation that made dogs unusually successful around us. Wolves can also learn from people, especially when they are raised with extensive human contact. But dogs and wolves often show different strengths because they face different social problems. In comparative work with similarly raised animals, wolves have often been strong at coordinating with familiar wolves. Dogs, meanwhile, frequently show a stronger tendency to orient toward people and to use human communication in daily tasks. The pattern is not a simple intelligence contest. It is a divergence in what social information is most useful. That matters on the trail. A wolf may be relying heavily on the behavior of its packmates and the condition of the surrounding territory. A pet dog may be using its person as a point of reference while also reacting to a powerful, unfamiliar smell. One is not the authentic version, and the other a diluted one. Each has been shaped for a different network of relationships. The dog may even look less capable precisely because it is waiting for a human decision. A person sees that glance and thinks dependence. In many settings, it is something more practical. The dog has learned that the human controls direction, distance, food, shelter, and safety. In a city, at a vet clinic, or on a busy road, that kind of social coordination can be a major advantage. In wolf habitat, though, it can become dangerous if the dog is allowed to move far ahead or roam out of sight. The question becomes practical very quickly. Wolf-dog encounters are not always quiet moments with a beautiful ending. Wolves sometimes attack dogs. Documented attacks have been associated with contexts such as hunting, dogs moving far from people, locations near wolf use areas, and differences in local prey conditions. Researchers do not treat all attacks as the same event with one universal motive. Some may involve predation. Some may involve conflict with a potential competitor. Some may reflect the particular circumstances of a territorial encounter. The practical result is the same. A dog's wolf ancestry does not make it safe around wild wolves. That fact can be hard to reconcile with the affectionate image of a wolf recognizing its domestic relative. But nature is full of close relatives that compete, avoid one another, or fight when their needs overlap. Coyotes and wolves are both canids, yet their interactions are often shaped by competition and risk. Different wolf packs can defend territory against other wolves. Familiarity changes the social meaning of an animal far more than a simple label like cousin. A domestic dog can also make the encounter harder to predict. Some dogs approach wildlife boldly, others panic and run. A barking dog may draw attention from farther away than a quiet one. A dog that slips its leash can move from protected companion to isolated animal in seconds. The wolf does not need to understand the emotional symbolism of that change. It only needs to react to the new pattern of distance, movement, noise, and vulnerability. This does not make wolves cruel, and it does not make dogs foolish. It means the encounter is governed by ecology before it is governed by our imagination. There is a useful thought experiment here. Suppose a wolf watches a dog walk back to a parked car, jump into a climate-controlled cabin, and disappear with its people. To us, the dog may seem safe, sheltered, and deeply connected. A wolf has no reason to compare that arrangement with its own life in the way a human would. It does not weigh veterinary care against the freedom to travel. It does not see a food bowl and infer a life of comfort. It does not see a leash and calculate lost autonomy. Those are human ideas, built from human concerns. A wild wolf's life is not pure freedom anyway. It includes cold, hunger, injury, failed hunts, conflict, and the loss of packmates. A pet dog's life is not pure confinement. It can include safety, social bonds, play, training, medical care, and opportunities that only exist because humans made space for dogs beside them. Both lives involve constraints. Both lives involve benefits. Pity is a poor measuring stick because it assumes there is one obvious winner. The better way to understand the wolf and dog is through their respective maps. A wolf's map is often organized around territory, prey, familiar pack members, and places that must be monitored. A dog's map may be organized around people, household routines, neighborhood smells, food opportunities, and the signals that predict access or danger. The same patch of forest means different things to each animal. For the wolf, a dog on a trail can be a disturbance, a stimulus, a possible rival, a possible meal, or a risk attached to humans. For the dog, a wolf can be a startling canid whose posture, scent, and silence break the rules of its normal social world. Neither animal needs a human-style theory of the other's life for the encounter to matter intensely. Sometimes, people use the word pity when they really mean recognition. They want to know whether the wolf sees something familiar in the dog. That is more plausible at the level of senses and behavior. Wolves and dogs share many features of body language, vocalization, and scent. They are close relatives, and they can produce offspring in some circumstances. A wolf may distinguish a dog from a deer, a coyote, or a person with extraordinary speed. It may detect that the dog is canid long before the person on the trail notices any change. Yet recognition can lead in several directions. It can lead to investigation. It can lead to avoidance. It can lead to aggression. It can lead to no visible reaction at all. The category dog does not come with a single emotional instruction attached. This is why short videos of wolves behaving gently around dogs should be read carefully. A wolf that does not attack is not necessarily expressing mercy. A dog that approaches a wolf is not necessarily expressing ancestral reunion. One clip usually leaves out the crucial information: whether animals had met before, whether food was present, whether humans were nearby, whether the wolf was alone, whether the dog was restrained, and what happened before the camera began recording. The behavior is real. The caption often overreaches. The most revealing part of the title may be what it says about us. We look at a dog beside a person and wonder whether its wild relative mourns what the dog gave up. That question carries our own unease about domestication. We are asking whether safety costs too much, whether partnership is a loss of identity, whether a collar changes the animal beneath it. Dogs answer that question every day with behavior, not philosophy. They seek people, learn their patterns, form attachments, and use the human world in ways that wolves do not. Wolves answer it differently. They maintain their own social systems and move through landscapes where family coordination and environmental information are central. Neither answer turns one animal into a tragic version of the other. Back on the trail, the wolf steps behind the trees. The dog pulls backward now, suddenly ready to leave. Its person shortens the leash and turns toward the car. The wolf has not passed judgment on the dog's life. It has done something more immediate. It has read an unfamiliar canid, the human scent around it, and the risk of the moment. The dog has not met a wiser ancestor. It has met a wild animal whose world operates by different rules. Keeping dogs close in wolf country is safer for everyone involved. It also respects the reality of the encounter. These two relatives do not meet as characters in a fable. They meet as animals carrying very different histories into the same narrow strip of forest.